everybody, this is Derek for the Grumpy Guy Show, talking about episode number 91. What does that 10th dentist recommend? Recorded on Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Tonight's topics: poor advertising, what's in a name, and stop paying them. Stick around, it's a real fun episode. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Grumpy Guy Show. I'm Derek McAllister.
And I'm Ryan McAllister.
So, last week I said I was going to set up a YouTube page for us, and I've done that, and I've started uploading things, and it's kind of led to.
So now we gotta be like the basic YouTubers and tell everyone to subscribe every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
By the way, please subscribe and don't forget to smash that like button and hit the notification bell.
Yeah. So it's something that's come up from this that I forgot to add into the list is some frustrations with Spotify. As the podcast owner, I should be able to download my content.
Yeah.
But I can't. I can download
What?
the audio. Can do that all day. To download video, I have to follow some goofy ass instructions that I've seen online, and I'm just like, I don't want to do all that freaking work. I mean, and to be honest with you folks, for most of the episodes, I'm not going to have to do that because I have the video. I have everything saved. But I can't remember how many of them. I think it's 3 or 4 of them that I lost with all the transitions, going back and forth with Linux when I was having problems there, and of course installing Windows and having problems keeping that installed and all that other stuff. So I've lost a few. I have the unedited video, but it means that I have to go back through and recreate it, which
It's a pain.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a pain. It's not horrible because to be honest with you, the ones that I lost, it's not like I did all kinds of animations, all kinds of GIFs or anything like that in there. It's just something that I shouldn't have to do, to be 100% honest with you. But I don't know. I mean, I sort of understand it. They're trying to protect.
Hey, what do I know?
Yeah, they're trying to protect their whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's not their product. They don't own the videos. That's mine. But I suppose because they've hosted them, they sort of own some right to them, I guess. I don't know. Probably something in the terms of service. But I don't know. I find it extremely, extremely frustrating that I even have to do that, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I should have. I should have. Oops! I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. So we still have low counts as far as views, listens on Spotify. Last week's episode we got 4. So I think YouTube is definitely
that's a miracle.
the direction we want to go. We've got. How about that? We're up to 3 subscribers apparently already on YouTube.
Hey.
But
one of them's me.
But I've uploaded. Apparently I have to edit.
3, you said?
No. I've uploaded up through episode number 22. I'm starting from the beginning so people can actually,
Yep.
The first, I think 27 are just audio only, but they'll be able to.
3 subscribers, you said?
Yeah, 3 subscribers. Yep.
That is 6 less than my YouTube account, which has no videos uploaded on it,
But
and probably never will have a video uploaded to it.
but so I've uploaded. I actually have episode 23 up there. It appears that I didn't put the proper title and whatnot, but
Mhm.
part of the limitations that are ticking me off because I've never run into them before is, oh, Jesus, come on, Windows. It just freaking crashed again.
Oof.
Yeah.
Looks like it's fine now.
Yeah, well, the video's black, so hold on a second, folks. And we're back. Ugh. So, anyhow, started talking YouTube as far as a limitation that I hadn't had. And it actually has to do with the limit on the number of uploads that you can do in a day, apparently, unless you're verified. And I'm like, what the hell? I've never had to verify myself before. I mean, granted, I haven't tried uploading tons and tons of videos at once, but seriously, what the hell's with that? Just because it's a new channel, I mean, it's still me. I started the stupid thing. My account is assigned to it, so I don't know. It's just YouTube being stupid. But
Well, that's a normal thing for YouTube.
yeah. So it's probably going to take me a while. I think it's like 10 videos per day that I can upload. And even though they're audio only, to be on YouTube they have to have video included. So for all of those that were audio only, it's just going to be our logo for the whole video. So
Hmm.
big whoop, you know. Like I said, I think it was 27 episodes that we did before we started with video, and I can actually check. Let me get to there. I'm gonna have to remember as we're going along, and I'm checking the time. I got to remember that we had to restart after a few minutes. Otherwise, we could end up going long. Yep. So it's 27 episodes that we did audio only. So after that,
Hmm.
I'll be loading videos, and of course the video files are much larger. So it's going to mean um, slower uploads. I mean, the audio literally, it's just before it uploads faster than I can render the next episode. Basically, is what ends up happening. So I can do 10 of them pretty quickly. So we'll be at that 27. Well,
Soon.
yeah, probably depending on how quickly we get done here tonight. Probably tomorrow. I'll be onto the video. But at any rate, so we have three other topics tonight.
We got very sidetracked.
Yeah, well, not really. I mean, it was something I wanted to complain about. I just forgot to put it in. It's
Yeah. All right.
uh,
What else do we have?
yes, a brand new transition for us. What else do we have?
Our world famous transitions.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to a topic that we had left over from last week. Um, so we were we were sitting watching television. I don't even think it was the news. It was something else, and an
Hmm.
ad came on for Blue Buffalo. Now a lot of people know what Blue Buffalo is, but for those who don't, it's pet food.
For those that have been living under a rock.
Well, not everybody pays attention to commercials, and I get
Oh
that.
yeah.
You know, but
Nobody pays attention to commercials anymore.
yeah,
That's because commercials suck now.
pretty much. But this one kind of goes right along with that commercial suck
Mm,
because they, so they're talking and they say this lady's talking and going on how she prefers Blue Buffalo and everything, and then she says, I'm a nutritionist, and that's why I choose Blue Buffalo. I'm like,
What?
you're a nutritionist. You did not say that you were a veterinary nutritionist. You just said you're a
Yeah.
nutritionist. Human needs are much, much different than the needs of pets.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does it matter that you're a nutritionist? You
It
know,
doesn't.
that
It
just
just it's just to slap a label on there to get people's approval.
yeah, it's to get people to think, oh, well, it's nutritionist approved, so it must be good. Ho ho ho!
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe people fall for this crap.
It's like every single toothpaste ad says that 9 out of 10 dentists recommend it.
Yeah, I want to meet that 10th one. What the hell does he use?
I want to meet that 10th one too.
Yeah, but I
What's
mean,
his what's their problem with this one?
in
What's your problem with this brand?
the saddest thing in the world with that is how can how can every single toothpaste out there have 9 out of 10 dentists recommending it? Because if you talk to any of them, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend us. Okay. Well, the 9 in
Go to a
this
random dentist, see
yeah.
what they recommend.
you know, a dentist doesn't
I'm sure a
truly
lot of them are
recommend
just gonna
anything.
say, I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to say, "Well, these are the ones that we get." Because most of them get those little samples that they give you.
I don't know. We just have this one.
Yeah, and the sad thing is they're being paid to get those. I mean, basically they're given
Mhm.
to them for free, you know.
Yeah.
And if it's not free, it's very low cost. And it's just to make it seem like that's the one you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
But I just I don't know. Our
I
vet.
really want to know what that 10th dentist recommends.
So when we first got the dog, I asked, because I wanted to make sure we got proper nutrition, and I'm not a nutritionist. So I
Or a
asked,
veterinary nutritionist.
yeah. So I asked our vet. I said, "What do you recommend
What
we
the
we
hell is
feed
it that
her?"
you even do for a living anyway?
So, he told me about this story that he went to a conference, a veterinary conference, and he was talking to somebody about somebody who was actually in the pet food industry. He
Mm-hmm.
was talking to the guy about it, and he said, "Yeah, just as long as it says complete balanced nutrition, then it's all the same. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter." So you get these brands that, oh, it's it's real chicken first or it's real beef first. They do something that is very, very limited as to how much they can do it with human food. But
Mm-hmm.
what they do, because ingredients are required to be listed in weight order, they pump up the meat with all kinds of water so that it's heavier, therefore it becomes the first ingredient.
Yep.
And of course, what happens? All that water evaporates in the cooking process. So really, as long as he said, just go and get the cheapest stuff out there that says complete balanced nutrition. He said it's all going to be the same after that. And I'm like, really?
Okay.
And I mean, I'm cheap and everything, but
Exactly. That's why I figured you was just said, okay.
yeah, but I mean, I don't go the cheapest. I go, I go with the cheapest of a brand, which is Purina Dog Chow.
Mm-hmm.
We tried a couple others, and one of them just, yeah, she did not do well with it at all.
Ooh.
It actually made her a little sick. So the unfortunate thing is that meant that we threw out like 40 pounds of dog food, or yeah, it was more than that. It was more like
Holy
45
crap.
pounds. But
It's a lot of dog food.
that's why I stick with Purina, because she does fine with it. She's actually he's said to me multiple times he'd really prefer that she lose a little bit of weight So,
I mean,
we're not
she is
doing
pretty
bad.
fat.
Yeah, so we're not doing too bad with it, but I don't know. But it's just that marketing bullshit again. That's
Hmm.
that's really what it
It
comes down
always
to.
is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, you know. But at any rate,
But hey, what do we know?
yeah. So what do you say we move on to the next topic?
All right, let's see what we got.
I almost quoted somebody at work who leads. There's a daily meeting, and
Yeah.
he leads it, and everything is let's jump into we're gonna jump into. I'm like, I said to somebody once because I was in a mood. I said, "You ever get the feeling that we do an awful lot of exercise in this meeting?" And she said,
Oh, that's a good one.
"She said what?" I said, "Well, we jumped into the first topic, then we jumped into the second one, and we jumped into this one."
That's funny.
Yeah, so
What'd you say to that?
oh, she just started laughing. But
Yeah.
I almost said that here, but
Anyway,
we'll.
let's jump into the next one.
So, recently, the wonderful world of New York State and
Uh-oh.
the government deciding they need to step in and be stupid
Uh-oh.
has done one thing that I agree with, a second thing that I totally disagree with.
Oh
So,
boy.
the first thing, yeah, they passed something. I don't know if it's considered a law or what the hell it's considered, but they passed something stating that um, you know Native American or Indigenous Americans or Indigenous people, whatever you would like to call them, term them, or anything like that.
Take your pick. There's a
Yeah.
million terms for them.
So they passed a law stating that schools cannot use any mascots or names referring to that.
Hmm.
And I mean, Indians is a derogatory English name for the natives because Columbus assumed that he made it to India because nobody
Which he
knew
didn't.
about America, and so he called them Indians. Well,
Hmm.
I understand, that's derogatory because of that.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
I wouldn't even call I wouldn't even use the term American Indian
No,
because
no, because they are not Indians. They are
they're
they are
not Indians
natives.
in any way.
Yeah, they are natives.
An American Indian is an American who immigrated to India.
Yeah, yep. So at any rate, so they passed that, and
I
it
don't know why you
includes
would. It's way too crowded in India.
yeah. So that law includes mascots, which there's still several schools that have like what's supposed to be an Indian chief or a warrior or a scout as their mascot. Which hey, I get it. I don't understand
Mm.
why it would be offensive because it's really kind of honoring the Native Americans.
The native people who
Uh,
lived here
Yeah,
and
but
still live around here somewhere.
yeah, but I get it. If they don't want that, okay, I understand that. But what I disagree with, and I completely and totally disagree with it,
Hmm.
comes to names. So you start talking about like Central Square long before I think it might
Long
have
before
even
they
been
were the Red Hawks, they were the Red Men.
yeah, and I believe that was before you were even born. But um,
Hmm.
they
It was
were
for sure before I was there.
yeah, they were called the Redskins, which
No, the
or
Red
the Red
Men.
Men, which derogatory name for the Native Americans. Totally
And
get
I'm
that.
so glad they changed it.
Yeah, I totally get why they changed that. And why names such as that are no longer allowed under this law or rule, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
What I don't get is the fact that the state decided to include warriors in that.
What?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
You know, they did that, and there's several schools that have the nickname of the Warriors, and they're all kind of, hey, this doesn't have anything to do with the Native Americans.
Hmm.
So why am I forced to change it?
I remember that the Warriors nickname was actually a possibility for the Washington football team
Yeah,
when they changed it.
yeah, but
I don't remember what they are now.
I
And
don't know.
and frankly, I don't really care.
Yeah, but I'm just like, Warriors has been an English word for centuries.
Hmm.
The fact that we as the Western Europeans came over and named their fighters warriors, it has to do with the fact that they're fighters, and that's what we called fighters. We called them warriors,
Yes.
you know?
And
So,
if you think fighting is a good thing, then that should be considered a compliment.
well, it's not even just that. I mean, it's it,
That's not derogatory at all.
it's not derogatory, and it's not, it's not anything about the Native Americans. There was the
Other than
after
the
this
fact
ruling,
that they did have warriors.
yeah, but after this ruling, they
They were
actually
probably good at what they did.
they were actually talking to somebody he's a veteran of the United States Army, and he's
He would be considered a warrior.
his kid goes to Liverpool, which Liverpool is one of the school districts with Warriors as the nickname. And he said,
Hmm.
I don't understand why we would have to change this because I'm a warrior.
He is.
I mean, that's what
You're a
I don't
military
get.
veteran. You are a warrior.
Yeah, that's what I just don't get with this. New York State is so clueless. And the worst part in the world is they were talking to somebody you know, who leads I can't remember exactly what the group is called, but it has something to do with the indigenous people. And he leads that, and he said, "Oh, people are just so hung up on it." Well, yes and no. I mean, people are hung up on, they're hung up on the logos because number one, it's expensive to go through and have to change all that stuff, especially when you start talking about, you know, schools that have the logo on, like, in the
Everything.
floor of the gym. That's expensive.
Oh yeah.
But, I also see the point that he's making, that people are holding on to this and it means something negative to us. Okay, I get that. But when you start talking about getting offended by words that have nothing to do with your people in particular, that's where I
Words
have a
that can
problem.
be used with not just your people, but every people.
Yeah, it's not like they're called the Indian Warriors.
Hmm. They're just the warriors.
They're just the Warriors, you know? And it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get that at one
You
point
could
they had
make
a
a
logo that
you could
was,
make a warriors logo. You could make a logo for a team called the Warriors in any race.
yeah,
Any race.
yeah, and in fact, Liverpool,
And
they,
it would not be offensive.
yeah, so what happened with Liverpool is they kind of saw this coming, and a few years ago they changed their logo, and if you look at it now, it's actually a Roman warrior.
Good.
But they may be forced to change.
Oh, wait a minute. That might offend the Italians.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Italy back then, it was Rome.
Well,
And true Romans don't
Rome is
exist.
Italy. Rome is mostly just present day Italy.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're getting to a point where everything is going to offend everybody, so stop speaking is what it's
Mm-hmm.
going to come down to. No speaking, no writing. We're going to become really primitive because we're not going to be able to pass information down to the next generation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's honestly getting to be very, very ridiculous. At some point, we have to stop. You know, at what
That is a
point?
bit of an extreme view of it, though.
Well, it's
Saying that
extreme.
every bit of speech will be outlawed.
Not
But
outlawed. It's
that's
going
not
to
true at
offend
all.
somebody. It's going to offend somebody.
Well, of course.
And
Everything's offensive.
yeah, but that's what's happening. That's what's slowly happening is every single culture is offended by something, you know, and
That's another thing that is somewhat wrong. Mostly it's not the minority races that are getting offended. It's white people getting offended on their behalf.
yeah, yeah, perhaps I don't know. I
For the
just
most part, it is in fact white people getting offended on behalf of someone who probably does not care.
yeah, maybe, you know, it kind of goes back to
I think some of these politicians should go up to the reservation and ask a whole bunch of the Native Americans there what they think of the term warriors.
yeah, I mean to a point, but some of it goes back to
I'm sure
a
at
class that
least one of them will not care,
yeah, but
if not a bunch of them.
one of the classes that I took in college, we actually had somebody come in, you know, to do we had a guest lecturer come in, and I had some huge problems with her. She was an
Oh,
extreme feminist,
oh
and the
Lord.
problem is, you get the extremists that go in and they're the loudest. Again, we said something before about the squeaky wheel. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the
Mm,
oil. Well, the
yep.
ones that are the loudest get the oil. You know, this lady was
Oh, so
so
that's how Trump got elected.
yeah, this lady was so extreme with her views. She
That's
said
how Bernie almost got elected.
so she actually said that the reason a guy opens the door for a lady is because it's showing her that she's weak and she needs a man's help. And I'm like, okay.
What?
Yeah. And
Oh my
that's
god.
that's kind of the way this whole speech went. And
I mean, that's
I
what
could see
some people. That's what a lot of people believe nowadays.
yeah,
And honestly, that's scary to me.
well, the thing is, I could see in the class, I could see some of the women in the classroom getting uncomfortable with some of the things that she was saying. And I'm like, yeah, I could see why.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, the way that you hold hands, well, it shows the man's hand is always on top, and that shows that he's dominant. What?
what?
It's
How does
just
that even mean?
extremes. It's extremes, and like I said, the biggest problem there is a squeaky wheel gets the oil. So what you have is you have these extremists that are pushing for all of these changes. Like I said, I totally get the derogatory, you know,
And then
names.
there are extremists on the other end that want to change everything back to the way it was,
Yeah, I
claiming that everything used to be perfect before even normal people saw, hey, this is a bit problematic.
yeah, I get the whole problem with the logos and the
Hmm.
derogatory nicknames, but those that are not, I don't get, and we need to stop. And the fact that these people are being offended, well, maybe, just maybe, we should talk to more than just the extremists that are running these groups. Let's talk to a broader population and say, hey, does the word warrior offend you?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Send some people to interview to each reservation each Native American reservation to talk to some of the people that live there, get their opinions on it.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but the problem is the government doesn't want to be bothered because, you know, too many judges have decided, well, we're gonna reverse things that have happened over the, X number of years, and they want to prevent that from happening. So let's just bend over backwards to appease them, and some
Hmm.
other extremist group is going to figure this out, and they're going to decide, oh, I'm going to use this to my advantage and get what I want. And how long before everybody's got to be part of an extremist group just to be able to survive? It's not a
I
good
mean, in
thing.
politics, we're already halfway there
Yeah.
with the Republican Party.
Well, you've got extremists on both sides. You can't just blame this
You
on
do, but
Republicans.
extremists are running the Republican Party.
Yeah,
Democrats are still very, very split.
yeah, but
If Bernie was the president instead of Biden, then I'd agree with you. Extremists run both parties.
yeah. But speaking of politics, let's move on to our last topic here.
Hmm.
So, the last one. For a long time in my life, New York State
Yeah.
was the laughing stock because we could never pass a budget on time.
Was.
We went for very many years where we were actually passing them on time or very, very close to on time. Well, now there's been 5 extensions to the budget.
Oh no.
Yes. And we still don't have one. So
Oh goody.
you might be saying, "Well, what's the point of the extension?" Well, the extension is to make sure that people get paid. I totally get it for all those people who don't have they're just working. They don't have a say in it, you know? What I don't get is the fact that this extension includes these lawmakers that are all squabbling over this petty stuff to try and make sure that they can be reelected.
Yeah, this stuff is probably being argued along partisan lines. 'Cause
Uh,
that's how it is in America nowadays.
I'm not sure how partisan it is. I mean, it sort of is partisan because a lot of it is what downstate wants versus the rest of the state, which makes it very partisan because
Hmm.
the New York City area is very Democratic and the rest of the state is very Republican.
The rest of the state is mostly Republican,
Not mostly.
with with
You start
occasional
you start looking at the major cities.
with occasional blue with big little blue big blue blips in Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, and all the other big cities.
Well, those are the big cities. I mean,
Well, yeah,
Syracuse
but the other
isn't
cities,
Syracuse isn't nearly as big as the others,
the other two, yeah, obviously.
but it is it is really the last major city in the state. Um,
Hmm.
I actually think like Binghamton is getting to be pretty darn close to the size of Syracuse, but they I don't know.
Oh, good for them.
But you know, so here we are. We're late again, and they keep passing these things, and of course the governor keeps getting paid, and all of these legislatures keep
Keep getting
keep
paid.
getting paid. And I've said for a long time, hey, the way to make it so that these get passed on time, pretty damn simple. Everybody else gets paid except for them.
Nobody gets paid until we get a budget.
Well, you don't want to say nobody because nobody would include police
Ah, yeah.
and fire.
So basically everybody but so nobody as in the politicians. How about that?
Elected officials do not get paid because your firefighters and your police officers are not elected.
But they're not politicians, are they?
But you can't specify politicians. You have to specify elected officials because then even judges who do have a say, they don't have as much of a say, but
Yeah.
the judicial branch could push things if they needed.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you have
No
them,
elected officials are getting paid.
yeah, that would
Hey, that
solve a
could be
whole
the
lot.
budget for this year.
Yeah, yeah. You know how much money we'd save?
What? What? How many figures?
Well, you have to look at it like this:
7, 8?
the minimal pay for somebody in the House of Representatives in New York State, I believe, is like 110 grand.
The state assembly?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it's like 110 grand. How many are there? There's a lot.
Boatload.
Yeah,
So we're saving so we'd be saving a fuck ton.
yeah.
And
With
that's
that,
not even if and even if we let the governor get paid, we'd still be saving a bunch.
yeah. I mean, just looking at the legislature, you're talking well over $1 million a year. I mean, well,
There you go.
you
Why don't
know,
we just go with that budget?
I think you'd actually be talking close to like 100 million. I don't
Yeah,
remember how
maybe we
many
could do that for a federal budget while we're at it.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Especially if former office holders don't get paid.
Yeah, that's the big
Especially ones who are young enough to go out and work, Obama.
key. Yeah.
Make a Netflix special while you're at it. I'm serious, he's a funny guy. He could go out there and spend 20 years doing comedy,
I'll take your word for that one.
doing stand-up.
All right, folks. I think you've heard us babbling on long enough for on politics.
There's the music in the
started up.
background. Good night.
We'll see ya.